welcome to the Capital Film Podcast! My co-host is dead. I have risen him from the dead!
I am not. Hey, I'm Jesus. Bryce, I might be Jesus, actually.
I thought you were Bill Murray.
I have power. All right, Bryce. Well, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about Blade Runner, the final cut. This is a pick from your list.
Yep.
Notably, the final cut. There is quite a significant number of cuts of Blade Runner.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
Yes, this is very important because we have to get this right off the bat. You have to check the cut. Because there's I believe you said there's 7 or something like that?
Around 6 or 7 cuts. And each one of them, from what I understand, okay, so let's begin here. So, why are there so many cuts? Well, when Blade Runner was being made and then it was released to test screenings, because if you don't know, movies that are going to be released this type of budget or whatever,
these big scale films,
they're going to be run through test audiences and critics just to see what they would think.
Yeah.
And they'll just get they'll get notes back, and they're being told hey, this audience didn't like this scene for example. They didn't like this one. They really liked this one. So the studio will get those notes and they'll hand it to the director and say, hey, the people don't like this, so can you change some things to, make it more appealing to a broader audience? So sometimes you'll have scenes that are cut, you'll have reshoots, you'll have generally some other things.
Yeah, really depends per director. Sometimes the director will just take it and throw it in the trash can, like what Mel Brooks used to do.
Yeah, I know, right? That's great. Now, with Blade Runner...
always love hearing stories about him getting test screenings and then going, yep.
But now with Blade Runner, however, test audiences, the general consensus was they were confused. Mm-hmm. And they pretty much, the producers, or I guess you could say the studio execs, just told Ridley Scott, the director, why don't you have your star, Harrison Ford, come in and just narrate the movie like it's an actual noir? Because Blade Runner, if y'all don't know, it's supposed to be a sci-fi take on noir-style movies of the 50s and 40s. Well, Ridley Scott and Harrison Ford both really hated that idea.
Yep.
And I can understand that, because when I was watching this movie, the final cut, there's no narration whatsoever. I was not confused whatsoever during this movie. So either people were that stupid in the 1980s, which in all honesty they probably were. I mean, look at who they elected as president at that time.
Well, what I think is more accurate...
But, go ahead. Yeah.
...is that it's also been shown what happened a lot, and it still happens sometimes. A lot of people who run test audiences don't actually bother getting test audiences, and they just watch it themselves and give their own feedback.
Yeah.
And so it's probably just some really dumb person or executive somewhere who watched it and went, I have no clue what's going on. I'm going to just write down my notes and say that's what the test audience thought.
Wouldn't surprise me, honestly. But... yeah, so the theatrical cut of Blade Runner has narrations by Harrison Ford. But then years later, there was more stuff.
Yep.
So they added in new scenes, and they said this is the, what is it called? The test cut, or they added another scene with a unicorn. Yes, there's a unicorn scene. And then this is going to be called this cut. And then eventually they made one that's called the director's cut.
Yep.
That is not the director's cut.
Ridley Scott did not make it.
Yeah, he didn't really do it. He didn't really have much input into it, so that wasn't it either. Until finally, in 2007, right before the housing market crashed...
that has nothing to do with it.
No, I know.
It just so happens.
I know. I just had to make that joke. They decided... Ridley Scott actually did come back and was like, okay, I'm going to make a cut that is actually my rendition of this movie, and... it's going to be the final one. Nobody can make another one that is going to be considered the definitive version. This is my imagining of this movie. And then
they made another cut.
Yeah.
But the final cut's the good one.
Yeah, the final cut is, generally speaking, what most people would say is the best cut of the movie. Now, each cut of Blade Runner... I'm sorry we're talking a lot about cutting of movies here, but this is important for its history.
In case you don't know, a cut is a re-edit, basically.
A re-edit of the movie. Each cut of Blade Runner... generally speaking, changes some aspects of the movie that'll just be different from... if you watch, say, the theatrical cut, and then you watch another one, and then final cut, you're kind of watching three different movies in the sense.
Yeah, you're going to see, like, similar scenes, and they're going to be, like, shot for shot the exact same, but they're going to be in different orders, they're going to be told differently, and you're going to see different scenes as well.
Yeah. So, like, it wouldn't be, like, a full-on, like, different movie, but it would just be, like, a different experience of the story and what this whole freaking movie has to offer you.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, Bryce, what is your backstory to Blade Runner?
I watched Blade Runner for the first time all the way back in high school. And my first time ever watching it was around, like, with the release, not with the release, but, like, the release of the Final Cut. Final Cut, and I was like, oh, okay, what's a good version of Blade Runner? Final Cut. Just sat down and watched that, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. It was very stylistic, and I did very much enjoy it. And then I just didn't watch it again until for this episode we're doing right now.
Okay. So my introduction to Blade Runner, I saw it in high school. I really loved the set design and everything about it, which we'll talk about. And then I rewatched it one other time in the lead up to Blade Runner 2049, which came out in 2017 or 18. It's one of those years. So
around then, yeah.
Yeah, it's about to...
I think it was 2079, so I think it was 19. 30 years before.
I don't think so. I'm just remembering, like, at least, like, well, it's called 2049, but I think it came out in 2018 or 17. I just remember it was one of those 2 years.
I don't remember. So.
But, yeah, I saw the original Blade Runner and really, really liked it for many different reasons. And fairly recently, actually, in 2022, I saw the original precursor to that, which is the movie Blade Runner is inspired by the book Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick.
Yeah.
I'll talk about more of it as a an adaptation.
Yes.
Because it's not exactly an adaptation that much in some areas, but we'll get to that. So yeah, my introduction to Blade Runner is just generically, saw it in high school, saw it again before a sequel was coming out, and I saw it again for this review. So, I guess let's get started on writing. So,
yes. So, as you said, this is a loose adaptation.
Yes.
When we talk about loose adaptation here, how loose are we talking?
So, in Blade Runner the movie, it's about shoot, I'm trying to remember it. The main character, Deckard. I almost said Deckard Cain. It's like Diablo all over again. Holy crap!
It's Deckard Cain.
Okay, it's following our main character Deckard, who is a Blade Runner.
Yep.
In which this is a world where it inhabits humans on Earth, but there's also these beings that look like humans that are called replicants. But they are not supposed to be living on Earth. They're essentially like androids, essentially, but they actually have flesh and blood. But they're artificial, so they're supposed to not be around, but they are usually up in space, and sometimes they'll find their ways back to Earth. And, well, Deckard's job was supposed to be hunt these replicants down to kill them for money. Well, in Blade Runner the movie, he's a retired Blade Runner who is tasked with killing 4 replicants that journeyed from Mars back onto Earth. And, well, they murdered several people. So, yeah, he's tasked with bringing them, well, to quote-unquote retirement, but that's supposed to be their symbolic version of death.
Yep.
Now, the book, it follows a similar story, like a very similar plot, where Deckard has to kill 4 replicants. However, it's different in that he's doing it to get money in order to buy his wife a sheep.
Oh.
Or a goat. I think it was either a sheep or a goat. It's been years since I've read the book. I didn't get enough time to read it. So he's tasked with, like, he's wanting to get money because in this world as well, not just humans are being replicated, animals are too.
Yep.
Because this is a post-apocalyptic world where almost all known life is basically gone. Like, there's no animals. Farming is done mainly in greenhouses. It's, like, pretty much dead.
Yeah, which you do see in the movie.
Yeah.
Because they reference that several times. So.
Mm-hmm. So, as an adaptation, it doesn't follow the book to a T, which doesn't really bother me too much. Yeah. But there's also a big difference, though, in the question that it asks. In Blade Runner, they try to figure out who is a replicant and who is not by a test on empathy in the book. And then in the movie as well, they do the same thing. But the questions in the movie is like, what does it mean to be a human and stuff like that? Like, generally speaking, what does it mean to be a human and stuff, and how important our memories are? At least in the very end of the movie, it talks about that. In the book, can empathy just be replicated as well? Like, how artificial is empathy actually? Because there's a scene where one of the replicants that's named in this book that is in the movie, but what she does is that when a character brings about an actual real life spider and he just shows it to a replicant, she just grabs it and just starts picking at it apart. Yeah, like ripping out its legs and stuff while the person is seeing this and he's like scared, like it's a real life creature and you're just doing all that. However, whenever I was reading the book and I was just thinking like just deconstructing like human emotion, mainly just empathy, I was thinking about a little bit, unfortunately, about social media. Like, you ever seen those posts of people saying, like this post in order to pray for the victims of such and such tragedy? Yeah. So it's like, see, I'm being empathetic because I hit like on this random social media post, but you really don't feel anything at all. It's artificial. It's nothing. That's some of the questions that's posed in this book, even though it came out in the late 60s. Blade Runner, on the other hand, tackles a little bit more, I wouldn't call it surface level stuff, but it does follow at least some of the ideas of the book. But of course, the book is super short.
Yeah, it's not a long book.
Oh, it's a lot more interesting questions that wish more people would read, but still, it's just I honestly feel like it's a niche book. It feels like the movie and the franchise that Blade Runner has become superseded the book.
Oh,
immensely.
Easily, yeah.
So that's all I have to say about it as an adaptation. I want to get into like the movie itself, though.
Oh yeah.
So one of the things that I really like with Blade Runner in terms of its writing is some of what was it I was thinking of here? How it presents the world, but I guess that would be more into design. Good God, I can really sink my teeth into this whole world just by looking at it and just by how people are interacting with one another. Especially like how they perceive stuff like replicants, for example.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
So, yeah, I would say this is definitely written as a very lively world. Mm-hmm. One of the scenes in particular that really comes to me is very early on when he's just trying to get some food.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing, like, him just trying to order. There's some back and forth. There's some language differences. He gets the thing. People are coming over to him. They're trying to talk to him. It's like, oh my God. Like, it's so busy and so, like, well done. I will have a lot more to say about that when we really get to design.
Yep.
But writing-wise, I've never read the book. Also, notably, this is, like, on the short list of good Ridley Scott films.
Like, genuinely good.
Yeah, like...
However, there is one big glaring issue I have with the writing, and it ties into acting, but we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, generally speaking, with Ridley Scott, there's not very many movies I say I really love.
Yeah.
I like Alien, the original Alien, a lot, but in terms of the other ones, it's like...
Like, people like Alien and Aliens.
Yep.
I believe he directed Aliens, right?
I think so. Or it was Alien 3. I think it was a different director that did that.
Okay. I believe he did Gladiator.
Yeah, he did do that one.
So people like Gladiator.
Yeah, people like Gladiator.
He did The Martian, which people generally like.
Yeah.
After that, it's kind of nothing.
Yeah. The latest one that I saw of him was Napoleon.
Yes. Oh my God. We're gonna talk about a better movie than that later on.
Yeah, later on we'll talk about it more, and I can talk more about my interest in Napoleon, I guess.
Yeah, because I have a movie on my list where we get to talk about that.
Yeah. I forgot what the movie was, but it's set in Jerusalem during, I believe, maybe before the Crusades. I just don't remember what it was called. The only thing
was it Kingdom of Heaven?
Yeah. There was only one thing I liked about Kingdom of Heaven, and it was how they portrayed...
was that Ridley Scott?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
It was their take on King Baldwin.
Oh, yes. The Leper King, yes.
Yeah, I actually really like how they did it.
Yes, I remember.
It's not good as like a historically accurate portrayal, but like as like a character, it's like really cool.
Yeah, Kingdom of Heaven's like, it's basically propaganda against the Crusaders.
Yep.
Which, like, fair enough. They're not good, but like they weren't mustache twirlingly evil.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, it went too far in the other direction.
Yeah.
If you want to portray them nuanced, you did a bad job. Because, yes, they are extremely nuanced, but you portray them as cartoon villains, which removes the nuance.
Oh my god, don't even get me started, though, about his rendition of Napoleon.
Oh my god, it's so bad. Anyways.
Yeah, but Blade Runner, though, this was, like, probably around the peak of his, maybe you could say popularity?
Yeah,
of his movies.
So, yeah.
Like, I think this came out a couple years after Aliens.
Yeah, so like he was established director by this point. So.
Yeah. All right, so in terms of the writing, though, there's one big issue that I really wanted to talk about because when I was rewatching this, it made me very uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
The quote unquote love scene between Deckard and Rachel, the replicant. I don't see it as a love scene. I see it more as like a hate scene. To be very safe for work about it. Because, so in this movie, Deckard is trying to teach this replicant named Rachel how to feel, you know, human emotion, like empathy and stuff like that, or love. It becomes really uncomfortable very fast because this ties into acting. Harrison Ford and Sean Young, the actress, they do not have any chemistry with each other.
I'm not surprised.
Whatsoever. Like, not just on screen, but apparently even when they were acting with each other, they did not like each other.
I'm not surprised, yeah. Like watching it, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I was like, I cannot get into this. Like, their performances are solid enough. I mean, with Harrison Ford, it's about as good as you're going to get out of him during this time period, I guess.
So, I generally like it outside of, like, a couple scenes. Because the natural non-chemistry of them makes it feel like there's a barrier. Mm-hmm. Like, once you learn, like, oh, she's a replicant, the two interacting, it's like, it doesn't feel so much as a romance. It feels like, oh, yeah, no, like, you can feel the distance between them. Mm-hmm. They don't feel the same. Yeah. So, like, if Ridley Scott was going for something else, he completely failed. But...
Well, from what I heard, apparently, it might have been from the test audiences, but I don't know. But when the script writer was doing all this, he was told, hey, you're going to have to make this into a love scene. While he was writing the script, he was like, these two don't really have, like, the building blocks to a good romance are not there in this original, like, script writing. So when you get to that scene, it's jarring because there's nothing building up to it that's earned that. So whenever, apparently they did multiple retakes of this, even to a point where it got more erotic. Yeah, believe it or not, less said about that, the better. Apparently this was like, this is probably the best we can do.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So, like, it was like nothing was working. And even still, like, the one that they went with, it's like, you can see Sean Young's face being visibly uncomfortable during all of this. It's like, this is not okay. Like, I would give anything for them just to say, hey, can you just cut the scene? Like, I get that it's important and whatnot that you're wanting to go for, but it's just not communicating. Like, I bet the scriptwriter was probably annoyed that he had to write a love scene, that he didn't write it as that.
Yeah.
Even comparing the script, it's like, this doesn't feel like a love scene at all.
Now that you say that, yeah, I can absolutely agree, yeah. Like when I remember watching it, I didn't really even think of it as a love scene. I was just thinking of it like, it looked like a barrier between the two of them.
Yeah. That's why I said, that's why I put air quotes in between love, because it's like, it's not there. It's not supposed to be there. But I digress.
Yes.
Acting, though, there's only one pitch-perfect acting performance in the movie, unless you have something else.
It's the owl.
I need to pull up, though, the main actor.
I presume you're talking about the head replicant?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me pull him up real quick.
Very famous final speech by him. He does a good job in the movie.
That is played by one Sir Rutger Hauer. His character's name is Batty.
Yep.
So, this will tie into the writing a little bit too here. Yeah. So, Batty's character is the head replicant, and what he really wants is to live a longer life. Because replicants, the main difference between them and humans, besides being, artificial, they only have a 4-year lifespan.
Yep.
So Batty is wanting to prolong his life more, and literally, replicants are supposed to, like, they're saying they don't have any kind of human emotion and stuff like that. So they have no connection to humans. Like, they don't care. Heck, actually, one of the things I actually noticed whenever I was watching it again recently, the other day, was Batty's character goes through the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah, no, they do. Yeah.
Think about it, because, like, look, in the beginning, it is denial.
Yep.
Then it becomes was it anger? I think was
Yep.
the next stage.
Anger, then bargaining, depression.
Yep, bargaining, then depression, and then finally acceptance.
Yep.
Very, very cool. Batty's character, though, he's carried far more by the performance of Hager. And so we just touched on it a little bit. The final scene with him. The iconic 42-sentence monologue, 42-word monologue of Tears in the Rain.
Yep.
So, talking about it does not do it justice at all. You just have to watch the movie, and the lead up to that scene, it is pitch perfect.
Yeah, it's one of the, I would say, up there on one of the most famous monologues in cinema history.
It's just 42 words and everything. It's insane.
It's also one of the shortest film monologues because of that. So.
Heck, I think what Huger actually said, though, or maybe somebody else said, he came up with that once late at night. It was improvised. Like,
Dang.
this was his whole idea.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, if you watch the theatrical cut,
it's not there.
No, it's there.
Okay.
But it is ruined by Harrison Ford's
narration. Oh
yes.
My god! Of course it is.
Because look, I shit you not, I actually went back and compared the two just so I could talk about it in the podcast. So after during the whole thing, the lead up to it, the fight scene between Batty and Deckard, even though it's not really a fight scene in the traditional sense, he's just being chased. Deckard is hanging off of a ledge and he's about to fall and whatnot, and he's expected to be killed by this replicant. So he spits in his face and stuff like that. Well, right when he slips, Batty catches him and pulls him up, pretty much doing exactly what a replicant wouldn't be expected to do. And then just Batty sits down in his last few minutes of living, just tells him all the things that he's experienced and how once he's dead, they will be lost to time, like tears in the rain.
Yep.
And then time to die, and he dies, and then a dove flies away. You see Deckard just sitting there throughout the entire monologue, and he's just like listening in, like he's just literally like, I'm listening to everything you say, and I'm taking it to heart. And then right after he dies, and then it goes right back to Deckard, he's like, I don't know why that replicant saved my life. He must have really loved life up to the very end, my life included. Completely ruining the scene.
You know that killed Harrison Ford to read.
Oh yeah, like he did not want to do it at all. But I wouldn't be surprised if he probably improvised it and he just forgot what the scene was supposed to be about.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Like, Harrison Ford probably effing phoned it the crap end.
Oh, he really did. That's not even like the worst line. How about this? Like, in terms of like a line that kills a scene, that is the worst. But in terms of like a line that is so bad that it's hilarious, it's at the beginning of the movie where he was ordering food, and then he just like randomly says, "Sushi. That's what my wife called me. Raw fish." Yeah, if you really want some funny lines to quote out of context, that's a great one right there.
But yes.
So,
anything else for acting?
No. I mean, everybody, like all the other replicants, they actually are really good too. Like the Batty's like somewhat of a mistress.
Oh yeah.
I actually liked her performance and everything. Actually, kind of reminded me of Harley Quinn in some areas before it became a thing. But beyond that, no, actually. Oh, Gaffy. The guy that Deckard kind of works with. It's kind of like his chauffeur.
Yes.
I actually really like that character, and some people just talked about him as like there's that whole theory that some people have of like, oh, Deckard's actually a replicant because in the final cut you have the scene of the unicorn, and at the very end you have Gaffy's origami of unicorn just shows up, hinting at it to being an implant of a memory. I'm not a big fan of that theory, honestly, because it kind of destroys the whole entire point of the movie. Like, Deckard has no interest in human life whatsoever, but it takes a replicant that's supposed to have no human emotion to give him meaning again. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that theory, but it's fun to talk about because somebody once said, hey, maybe Gaffey is a former Blade Runner and Deckard is his replacement.
Mm.
And I thought, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, in terms of acting, that's generally it. And writing.
So, production.
Oh my god.
So first off, production, all the edits.
Yeah.
This movie has been edited in so many ways.
Yep.
So...
Actually, if I remember correctly, the unicorn scene... No. Okay, so in the original theatrical cut, there was one other thing that the test audiences were wanting. They were wanting a happy ending. So in the final cut, it just shows Deckard and Rachel kind of like having an ambiguous ending where they escape, or like they leave in an elevator, and it's just like open to interpretation on what happens next. In the theatrical cut, they flat out leave the city and they're just flying over a forest. And I was watching it and I thought, what is this even supposed to be from? Because it feels like it's from a different movie, and believe it or not, it is.
Oh, really?
Do you want to know what movie it was?
Sure.
The Shining. I shit you not. It's The Shining.
Oh,
they took
man.
the opening scene of The Shining, or the opening credits where they're flying over the wilderness.
Yeah. Right by the mountains, yeah.
Yep, they didn't reuse the footage from the movie. They were just using excess footage that they had from
Yeah,
that
you're just
day.
using excess stocks.
Yep.
So the company probably just had stock footage of that, and they filmed it for The Shining.
Yep.
So.
And the happy ending is just whatever. It doesn't really hold much at all because, like I said before, those two have no chemistry whatsoever.
Yep, so. Production-wise, though, yeah, like, it's been edited quite heavily. Yep. So it should be good by this point.
Yeah, like
if you could make a good film out of this, you were never going to get a good one.
I mean, literally, though, like, one of the common critiques I see of Blade Runner is that it's so boring. Like, the pacing is so bland and boring. Like, some scenes drag on. Like, the enhance scene where he's analyzing a photo. And he's, like, constantly, like, enhance, a little bit to the right, stop, enhance. It's like, look, say what you want about the pacing. I never had an issue with it whatsoever. If I get sucked into a world, I'm sucked in, and I'm not going to be taken aback by it whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a slower-paced movie. You do have to be prepped for that. It is slower-paced. Which, it's not surprising, considering how thin of a book this is. So.
Yeah, like, literally, like, they, like, pretty much increased more material into the movie than compared to the book.
Yeah, so it's only natural that the story progresses fairly slowly.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even get the first dead replicant until, like, over half the movie in.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So.
Yeah. But in terms of production, overall with the cuts, though, Final Cut is still going to be the better one, even though I don't really like the whole unicorn thing, because literally Ridley Scott flat out said, like, oh yeah, Deckard's a replicant. Yeah, like, he doesn't leave it up to interpretation. I need to find the quote for you from, like, I actually watched a review of this movie again from one of my favorite review channels, Red Letter Media. They were talking about Blade Runner, and one of the guest hosts was like, I need to read you the quote of what Ridley Scott was talking about with the whole replicant thing of Deckard and the unicorn stuff. It was so hilarious on how bombastic it is. He references Beavis and freaking Butthead in this. And you just hear the guys in the background that are filming all this just dying of laughter during the entire thing. It's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Ridley Scott's on something. I don't know, like, how he manages to make movies. Because he doesn't.
You know what? A match made in heaven, actually. Let's get Ridley Scott and Jared Leto to make a movie. Because they seem to...
Oh my god, it's going to be like mathematics. You have a negative times a negative.
Equal positive somehow.
Then again, I guess this could be science instead, and negative times a negative would just be more negative.
Imagine. So I've been seeing this a lot with stupid AI images recently, where people are generating images of Jesus, and it's just fucking Jared Leto. Now I'm thinking, let's have a remake of Passion of the Christ with Mel Gibson producing this, and have Ridley Scott directing, and then starring Jared Leto as Jesus.
Oh boy!
Yeah,
talk about a crap show.
I want that now really bad,
Oh
just to
my
see how
God.
bad it would be. But anyway, I have nothing else to say about production other than just watch the final cut.
Yeah.
All right, now with design. Actually, hang on. There's one other thing, though, that I wanted to mention, because I think it's a subtle thing that people don't mention, actually, and I guess it would tie into writing some. The music.
Oh, yep.
The
That's
music,
production,
the
so.
music adds to the world so much, and it's so subtly sounded. Like, how about this? Like, the first death of the replicant, and the music is just shining through it. It's a very silent scene besides hearing gunshots and, screaming pains and stuff like that. Or pain screaming, I guess. Whatever you want to call that. It just adds to the scene and the atmosphere that not very many movies seem to want to go for nowadays. Or else it's going to be called boring.
Fair, yeah.
All right, now design, which
Design,
is what the movie is more well known for. Its set design.
Yes, this movie is well known for its set design and its costuming.
Yep, it's insane how much of the world is made during this time period with this technology. Like we mentioned about Tron before.
Yep.
And how much it revolutionized CGI and stuff. Blade Runner is probably my favorite, besides maybe The Thing, when it comes to practical effects.
So I have to give one of my patented gold stars to Blade Runner's design, particularly its set design.
Yes.
It has possibly the most iconic set design of all time, to the point that it ruined so many movies for the next decade. Like,
fair.
the next decade, every single movie was trying to be Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah.
It was so annoying.
Weird.
Like, they even did it with Cool World. If you remember that. They tried to effing copy Blade Runner.
I forgot about Cool
And then the
World.
Super Mario Bros. That movie tried copying Blade, like...
The 90s one, not the remake.
Oh, yeah, not the remake. Not the Illumination remake. No, the original.
Oh my god.
There were so many movies that just went, we're gonna make the set design of Blade Runner now. It was like, why though? Literally, why?
Jesus Christ. But yes, the set design. I loved watching the behind the scenes and just seeing images of the filming of this movie. It's so cool, and all the little models and every little thing that they did in order to make this world come to life. It's insane. In which it sucks that I still think you would never see movies made like that again without relying too much on CGI. Very few.
Every once in a while a movie is, but it's very rare now.
It's super rare. That's why I say you won't get to see something that is replicated, pun intended, I guess, to something like that. It's insane.
Yeah, no, the only real time you see that is when a big name director requires it.
Probably Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan will do it every once in a while. Yep. It only really happens when a big director's like, no, we're doing it this way. As much as people have problems with him, J.J. Abrams gets away with that.
Yeah.
But he also is a big fan of CGI, so
Yeah.
But you only really see it when a big name director's like, no, we're not doing it this way.
Mm-hmm. Because
that's the only time they can really pull it. Because any other time, if it's a smaller name director and they want to do it, the studio's like, we're not doing that. I mean, let the guys in the editing shuttle over there do it.
Yeah. But either way, have anything else to say about the set design?
Oh, man. If you've not seen this movie, I recommend at least looking up set photos.
Yeah, absolutely. But
it is an iconic look that I would say was fundamental to changing the aesthetic of the 90s.
Well, start of the 80s, really. This came out in 82.
Yeah, I know. But, it wouldn't really pick up because of that being a bad movie until the 90s.
Yeah, that's fair. So, would you recommend this movie to people, Bryce?
Final cut? Generally, yeah. I would say so.
Yeah, I'd say the final cut is the best cut of the movie.
Yes.
Pun intended, but also, that whole love scene is always going to be something that's, hard for me to really recommend. However, the final scene with Tears in the Rain speech and whatnot, it's one of those movies where, if you've never seen it, it's going to be a special moment for you, because it's it really is pitch perfectly well done. It's insane on how well it is. But How would you rate this out of 10?
The final cut itself, I would rate a solid 7, 8 on a good day.
I gave it an 8.
Fair enough.
It will still probably be in my top 50 because I always love telling people, hey, go watch this. However, as much as I love the final cut in Blade Runner itself, it's the sequel is what I love the most. Yeah, and I can't wait for us to talk about it again.
Yeah, we got a few episodes still then.
Yeah. Yeah, we still got a bit to go, but we're getting there.
But to get onto that march, we have to get to my movie now.
Yep.
Well, not movie.
Film.
Because, yes, a special thing. If you watched the end of last episode, if you managed to make it to the end of that.
Yeah, that's our longest episode ever, probably.
Yeah, that probably is. Well, it definitely is. We talked about how, well, this is a movie or film podcast.
Yes.
We've kind of used the words interchangeably, but there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Because the list I presented to everyone on episode 6 or whatever it was,
yes,
was our top 50 movies.
Mm-hmm.
But not top 50 films. Because there was a difference between a movie and a film.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a category of stuff that gets added when you include film. Movie is just a type of film. Case, for example, short films. Short films are films, but not movies. So, some short films might make the list. Now, notably, most of my list remains unchanged with films, except for one movie.
Yep.
Well, not movie, film.
Mm-hmm.
One film does make my list, and that is The Glass Harmonica. A interesting film that I am curious. What is your experience with this?
So, I have a long history with this, actually.
Ah, yes, the classic.
The classic 3 hours ago I watched it.
That has to be the shortest time yet.
Yeah, because I saw the runtime of this and I thought, I'm saving this until before Bryce comes over here.
Yeah, so this thing's like 30 minutes max.
No, it's 20.
It's
like 20.
long.
Like, actually 19 if you don't include credits.
Yeah, like, it's so short.
Yep. But, however, if y'all don't know, Glass Harmonica is actually an animated short movie.
Yes.
So this breaks the notion that Bryce hates animated movies. We finally did it, guys!
My 5th all-time favorite movie is an animated movie.
I know. I just want to make that joke because of the frog.
That joke's gonna live with me for the rest of my life. Even though it's baseless.
The funny part is, it wasn't me that did that.
I know.
It was the frog.
I know it's the frog. I still blame the frog.
However, I have never seen this whatsoever. However, I did, in a sense. Because about 10 years ago, even though it still goes on to this day, there is a segment of a television show that I really, really love.
Mm-hmm.
And it became a giant meme, where people took that scene and made their own renditions of it. It is The Simpsons.
Oh, it's steamed hams.
Yeah.
It's having steamed hams.
Yep. Steamed hams is one of my favorite memes of all time, and everybody's interpretation on how they would tackle it is insanely funny to me. And one of them was taking the director's art style and doing steamed hams in that style.
Ah, so like this movie.
Yeah,
well,
this movie.
Yeah, this film.
This movie, like, they took the art style of this movie and did steamed hams with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I need to link that to you sometime. I'll link it down in the description. But
I
when
probably want to link this film too.
Yeah, I'll link both the film and steamed hams, the clip I'm talking about. And when I was watching this Glass Harmonica 3 hours ago, I looked down in the comments and everybody was saying, I think we all can agree on how we got over here. Steamed hams? Yeah, steamed hams.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, and I was like, steamed hams? And I was like,
sad this film's only known for steamed hams now, but dang,
Yeah,
at least a lot more people know about it.
Yeah, you can say, like, hey, memes, hey, that's the power of memes, though. It's referencing something that only few people would get unless you do the research to look for it.
Fair, yeah.
That's pretty much what a meme is in general. So.
Yeah. Notably, removing from the meme.
Removing the meme. We're peeling out of the meme.
Yes. This is a Soviet film from the 60s.
Yes.
So that's deep in the 60s. This is Cold War era.
Yep.
That notably was heavily banned by the Soviets. Released and banned immediately.
I'm not surprised.
It was banned so quickly. And,
I mean, I would have thought it wouldn't be banned because at the beginning of the movie it was saying this is a rendition of like the dangers of modern bourgeoisie capitalism. And I was like, oh, that ain't gonna save it.
I don't think a lot of people know what happened to the director after the movie released.
I thought he's still alive.
He might be. I don't remember. I was just making the joke.
That's a good one.
But yeah. So this movie, it's a pseudo-silent film.
Yeah.
There's no dialogue.
Technically, yeah. There's not really any dialogue whatsoever, honestly, besides...
You get a title card at the beginning.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yep.
And then you get sound effects.
Like,
That's why it's pseudo.
So, hang on. Actually, I can think of something that I can compare this to. Disney's Fantasia.
Yes, yeah.
Where it's an animated short movie, or a segment, where classical music is played in the background.
Yep.
So, this is pretty much what it's reminding me of right here.
I was about to give a way worse example.
What was your example?
I was going to use the effing Pixar shorts.
Not the worst one, actually. I would say.
It's not the worst. It's just a way worse example, because Fantasia's a better one.
Yeah. So, how did you come across this short film?
So,
is what I'm curious on.
This is a long time ago. This is back in, a little after high school. This is in between high school and when you first met me, I believe.
Ah, so, okay.
I was very interested in banned media. Because,
makes sense.
This
would probably be around the same time where I was really into Lost media.
Yes, I was much more interested in band. You were interested in the Lost.
Yes.
Which is kind of like where we met up a little bit between then. I didn't really get to talk about a lot, but banned media was something I was interested in because I've always saw that if it's worth banning something, it's worth acknowledging it. Because if someone's banned it, that means it has something powerful to it. Now, notably, there are exceptions, like the Anarchist Cookbook.
Yeah.
There's nothing deep going on there.
Yeah, it's just generally a terrorist cookbook.
Yeah. But, if a book's banned, there's something in there that's worth banning. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes it's bad, like Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
That's worth banning.
Yeah.
But then there's some other things that get banned that are like, interesting. Like, for example, To Kill the Mockingbird gets banned all the time.
Well, hang on. Before you say that, well, with a note on that, it's not that a matter of it's also just banned, it's mostly challenged. There's a big difference.
There's also challenged.
Yeah.
So banned media is interesting to me, and I came across a list of different medias that were banned by the Soviets. Mm-hmm. And when I was looking over the list, I was looking at different parts of it, and I was watching, like, clips every once in a while, but, like, most of it I didn't care until I got to one that had a direct YouTube link, and I watched it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is very fascinating, and it was Glass Harmonica. Mm-hmm. So I just random upon it when I was looking at a list of random banned media from the Soviets. And from that moment on, I've been treating it very much similar to an art piece. Because that's what it is. This is an art house film.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that.
So, as the thing that will be coming from art house films, so I'm going to be bringing more art house films to the table at some point. So just a heads up. I'm going to bring this up then too, but I'm going to bring this up now. When you watch a film that is of that medium, your observations versus authorial intent is going to be important. So, you always have to make the comparison of what the author intended and what you, as the observer, watch. I will always go by the point of the observer, not the author. So, when we talk about art, you can go with either the author, which I do not like going with, because that removes critical thinking, in my opinion. Yeah. That you're just following what someone else is saying, and often, there are mediums where the creator of it is just wrong. The creator is just factually wrong about their own thing they created. So, for, like, I might agree with the director of the Glass Harmonica. I don't know. Because, for stuff like this, I try to actively remove myself from that. So, I am going based off of my own observations and my own opinions. So, did you do any research on this?
Generally speaking, no.
Alright. So, for people who wanted a history piece on the Glass Harmonica, I apologize. However, you will be getting a raw opinion about it without the ideas of the director.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the meaning of the film.
Interesting here. So,
because I have my own meaning, and I'm interested to hear what yours is. What you drew from the film.
So, the basic plot of the Glass Harmonica, from what I can understand, is that you have a group of people, like a little civilization that has different people every now and then. It looks like they sprout up like a new medium of art or artistic medium. Like you have a guy that came out like in the beginning that looks like he's playing, I want to say it looks like an accordion of some kind.
A glass harmonica.
A glass harmonica. That's it. So, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Sorry. I'm just trying to piece together on what everything looked like.
Yes.
I mean, there is an actual instrument called a glass harmonica. But it's not it.
This is not it. But, yeah, it's a literal interpretation of a glass harmonica.
Yeah. However, each time whenever they try to bring in a new artistic medium, a guy in a boiler hat that's, I believe, I don't know what he's called actually, he comes in and then he just grabs him and boom, he disappears.
Yeah.
Which I'm just understanding is like, is it supposed to be the Soviets or is it supposed to be the propaganda outlet? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I have my own interpretation of what it is.
Yeah, okay. However, there is, like, the person that played the glass harmonica was bringing about flowers and stuff, which I guess you could say is like blooming new inspiration to the people. And, well, whenever these people hold it, the flower will bloom and stuff. So I believe it would interpret it as like, oh, like their creative vision is starting to come about and they can create some new art. But once they're taken away and they drop the flower, it dies, meaning the creative expression is suppressed. Meanwhile, a child picks it up and he leaves the civilization and he comes back with a new glass harmonica and changes the entire society from, say, being like the society like devolves into being like animals and beasts. Like they literally turn into animals during this movie. But when the child comes back as an adult and he plays the glass harmonica, changes everybody into being more like Renaissance people, like the Renaissance man, for example, like changing them into classical pieces of art. So like the designs of them are more surrealistic and like more akin to like the Soviet era of like propaganda of like, you know, workers and whatnot. So when the child comes back and he brings in like the glass harmonica and he starts playing this music, changes society and whatnot, and just, you know, reinvigorates like the human spirit. It brings about new ideas of freedom and whatever. Like, not American freedom. That's not what I'm talking about. Different types of freedom. But then when the the propaganda outlet comes back, he takes the child, like, takes the new, like, the grown-up person away and assumes that he's going to bring down the hammered fist or whatever, because he influences them by using, like, gold coins, or greed, you could say. But this time it has no effect on people. So that, then he realizes, well, I failed. So, withers away. And people come back together and they start rebuilding this clock that was destroyed in the beginning of the movie. And really, I just think it's supposed to be like, art can inspire people to do new creative things and bring people together as, like, you know, expression and whatnot. Meanwhile, the boiler hat, I guess, is supposed to be like, this is what happens when art is suppressed. This is, I guess, my interpretation of the movie.
Okay. I have a somewhat similar opinion.
Okay.
So, the bowler hat for me so much isn't the suppressor of art so much as a grand authority. While they are someone who is trying to keep everyone in line.
Yeah.
They are someone that all they care about is the numbers and how the system and make sure everyone falls within it.
Yeah.
The suppressor of art I actually consider the people. And what it is that the man with the coin, the person who receives the coin, they are much more the suppressor of art. They are the people that are willing to destroy for money.
Mm-hmm.
They are the people that do not see art as something that is valuable. They only see value in money. So that is how I interpret that as, that there is a man of grand authority, and he is like, I need to keep people in line. If anyone is out of line, come and tell me, and I'll give you some money for it. And then people, like this individual, come to him and be like, hey, this person's doing something out of line, give me money, and the authority, he is being used as a tool to destroy.
Yeah.
Compared to the man who is making money out of destroying other people's stuff. And then we see from that the other people begin to covet and begin to look at the grand money that he's making, and they're throwing art at the wayside because they're seeing money as the true value, no longer the art, because of this one man who's been valuing money to the point of destroying art.
Yeah, I get you.
So that's where I see the destroyer of it is that it's the people who are following the wrong example.
Okay. That's a good interpretation.
So that's the message I got from it. That it is important who you follow within this, of do you follow the person who is simply the rich one, or do you follow the person who is making art?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. In the movie, we see the people who follow the rich one are merely just animals. They're don't care about anything. They're willing to destroy anything at any costs. They're just wild animals. While the people who follow the art are thinking, and they're willing to protect each other, and there's a sense of community. Hence, when the authority comes around again, no one's willing to turn on them, and they exile the authority because they want to think for themselves now.
Yeah. Interesting. All right.
That's the message I interpreted from it.
Yes. All right. So there is no acting in this.
No.
There is somewhat writing.
Yeah, we just talked about the writing. Yeah.
But it's interpretive writing.
Yeah. It's an art piece.
Yep.
It is interpretive writing.
But in terms of production and design, very good animation.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, everything like in terms of like art or interpretations, I think it follows along with what they're presenting. Like everything, it is very old, and I could tell like, I don't think this ever got like a, like say a digital remaster.
Probably not. No.
Probably actually clean it up. However, it is very fascinating to watch it all play out. It feels so weird to watch animation from the Soviets and how they did it. You know, actually, there's one other thing that it reminded me of that I...
Is it going to be the example I'm about to give too?
Yeah, well, maybe. Which one was yours? I'll let you
The Monty Python clips in between segments.
Actually, yes. There's actually another one, actually, that I mentioned it before with my connection to Glass Harmonica, actually. It's another Simpsons thing.
Oh?
There is a joke from a Krusty segment about how he lost the rights to Itchy and Scratchy.
Oh!
So instead, we'll be playing the Eastern European worker and parasites. And after I watched all this, I actually was like this. What the hell was that? But anyway, I have not much else to really say.
Yeah, no.
You have, all right, so
short film, short review.
Very short, yeah. So, I guess the question for me, though, is, would I recommend this to people? I mean, it's 20 minutes. You ain't got nothing else better to do.
It's free.
It's free.
It's free in 20 minutes.
Yep, free in 20 minutes. Watch it and get your own interpretation.
Yeah.
So, what did you rate it out of 10?
This is an easy 10 for me. This would be on my list if this was a movie. But it is my top 10 film, my top 50 films. This is pretty close to the spot it would be in.
Okay. I actually did not give it a rating to this movie yet, actually. I was still letting it simmer. I don't really know how I rate this, actually. It's maybe like as low as an 8, but still as high as a 10. But I really don't.
Yeah.
And I don't know for sure, really. Because it's
Fair
like
enough.
one of those things. It's like I don't always like rate very often. I don't always rate art pieces like this.
Yeah.
It's not something I really go out of my way to like say it has to be rated. It's just like a matter of interpretation.
Exactly.
It's more of a conversation piece than it is like something that you watch it and you critically analyze it. Unless you're critically analyzing it as an art piece, which I'm basically am, but I'm not critically analyzing it as a movie.
Oh, art critics.
Oh, art critics, yes. So anyway, What movies are we going to do this next time, Bryce?
Well, next time for my list is The Princess Bride.
Wow, a movie based off of a book. How original!
Yes. By the late, great Rob Reiner.
Yes. Now, on my end of the spectrum, it's also a movie based off of a book.
Yes.
And it is a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most iconic horror movies of the 70s. Rivaled only that of, say, Halloween, but not based on the book. Halloween is it. It is 1973's The Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it 72? Early 70s. Early 70s. So, thank y'all for watching. Man, how do you end this episode, Bryce?
I'm not a segment clipper. You think I'm a clip farmer, man? You think I just make up the